Good morning, everybody. So now today's class, we are going to study the next type of hydrocarbons. That is what cyclic hydrocarbons. But now, before going to study the cyclic hydrocarbons, we will just remember 3 points actually. So the 3 points that is what types of hydrocarbons. As I said, hydrocarbons are the most important thing. And remaining all are the derivatives of hydrocarbons. And hydrocarbons means it is made up of only what? What is the elements present in hydrocarbons, everybody? Yes, please. Hydrocarbons means, please respond. So it is made up of only two elements. So that is what? One is hydrogen and another one is what? Carbon. So now, basically these hydrocarbons are two types. One is saturated hydrocarbons. So that is what we studied, alkanes. So alkanes means saturated hydrocarbons. Only what bond is present? Only single bond. Single bond present between what atoms? Everybody? Carbon atoms. Am I right or wrong? Everybody? Please speak, guys. So that is what we used to call it as a saturated hydrocarbons, which we used to call it as a alkanes. So general formula is very important. What is the general formula of saturated hydrocarbons, everybody? Alkanes. CN H2N plus 2. Yariki theriyada? General formula of saturated hydrocarbons is known as alkanes. CnH2n plus 2. Am I right, Hari? Others? So CnH2n plus 2. And if you have noticed it, it will start from the first compound of a saturated hydrocarbons is, what is that, anyone? Methane. Is equals to CH-4. So it will start from N is equals to what? Everybody. Starts from N is equals to 1. Next, saturated over unsaturated hydrocarbon. So unsaturated hydrocarbons are two types. What is that, all of you? Unsaturated hydrocarbons will be, yes, two types. One is C double bond. C double bond, that is what we used to call it as a alkenes. And C triple bond, which we used to call it as a, what we used to call, everybody? Alkenes. Alkenes general formula is CnH2n. And alkynes general formula is what, everybody? CnH2n minus 2. CnH2n minus 2. So here, N is equals to, starts from where, everybody? N is equals to 2. What? It will start from ethene. Here also N is equals to 2. It will start from what? Ethyl. So, no N is equals to 1% in unsaturated hydrocarbons. Option is, call them unsaturated hydrocarbons. Mr. Rohit, can you understand? N is equals to 1 is not present in unsaturated hydrocarbons. Means no methane and methane is existing. You understand, all of you? Because for unsaturated means at least how many carbons, everybody? At least two carbon atoms needed. So that is why no single carbon atom compound is existed. I hope you all clear, everybody. Do you understand, all of you, what I'm saying? Yes, please. Everybody. All of you. Who is that? Sriram. What, man? What is this nonsense? Mute yourself. I'm already struggling myself and you are keep on making noise. Clear, everyone? All of you, please respond. So this is what. So now today, as I said, we are going to study the next one, cyclic hydrocarbons. So make it very, very important. From this only many times they'll ask the question. So cyclic hydrocarbons. So cyclic hydrocarbons again two types. One is saturated cyclic hydrocarbon. Saturated cyclic means what we used to call it, guys. Anybody can tell? Saturated cyclic hydrocarbons means they are cycloalkanes. What is that, everybody? Cycloalkanes means only what bond present? Hurry. Only single bond present between the carbon atoms. That is what is called as saturated hydrocarbons. What is another name of saturated hydrocarbons, everybody? Cycloalkanes. Next one, unsaturated cyclic hydrocarbons. Cyclic hydrocarbons. So means there are two. What is that, everybody? Cyclo, all of you. Cyclo, what it will come, guys? Yes, please. Cycloalkenes and cycloalkynes. So whatever it is. So cyclic unsaturated compounds. So we can say unsaturated cyclic hydrocarbons. So you can say also these compounds aromatic compounds. So please note it. What is another name, everybody? Aromatic compounds. Clear, all of you? Now, let us start from the saturated cyclic hydrocarbons. Only talking about saturated cyclic hydrocarbons. So saturated cyclic hydrocarbons also call it as what, everybody? Yes, please. Saturated cyclic hydrocarbons. Also call it as a what? All of you. We used to call it as a cycloalkanes. Okay. Now, general formula is most important and you have to be very careful in this map. So let us see what is this cyclic saturated hydrocarbon. Now, keep in mind saturated compounds or unsaturated compounds doesn't matter. Whatever it is, cyclic. What do you mean by cyclic? Anybody can tell? What do you mean by cyclic? All of you? I'm asking you only. What do you mean by cyclic? Anyone? Means it is a closed structure. So it is not a open structure. So what do you mean by cyclic, everybody? It is the closed structure. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everyone, please respond. All of you. So that is what closed structure means. N will start from not n is equals to 1 and n is equals to 2. Only closed structure means it will start from only n is equals to what? Anybody? Yes, please. N is equals to 2 is also not existed. Not existed means cyclic methane and cyclic methane after what will come second one? Everybody?
Ethane.
Ethane. Methane and ethane not existed in cyclic hydrocarbons. Saturated cyclic hydrocarbons. Keep it in mind. Always, all of you remember, they're containing at least 3 or more carbon atoms and their properties almost similar to the, all of you remember, unsaturated hydrocarbons. That is what we used to call it as a double bond. So it's very, very important. So please note it, everybody. All of you write it. Alkanes, sorry, saturated hydrocarbons. So only what is the first compound starts, everybody? It will start from n is equals to 3. N is equals to 3 means how many carbons, everybody? 3 carbons. Understand? So 3 carbons means with the 3 carbon cyclic compound, we can form what? Only triangle. Am I right, everybody? Please respond, guys, all of you. So now, each carbon, if you notice it, 2 bonds are completed. Then each carbon, how many bonds are pending? Anybody? How many bonds are pending? 2 bonds are pending. Okay. So that is what. So count it, everybody. Carbon number is 3. Number of hydrogens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So C3H6. Next, C4. Sorry, N is equals to 4. So which N is equals to 4? What is the structure we can form? Anybody? What is the structure we can form? N is equals to 4. Rectangle, or we can form square. So bond, 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 and bond. Each carbon is again with the 2 bonds. So totally how many bonds is remaining? Everybody, if you are involving, it is very nice. If you're not involving, it is not. So each carbon is having again how many bonds? All of you.
2 bonds.
Every carbon has to satisfy that. How many bonds it has to be there? Every carbon has to satisfy that. It needs to have how many bonds, everyone?
2 bonds.
How many bonds? 2 bonds. I think Mr. Nitish Krishnan, I have given you the number. You have to join only with the number. Otherwise, you no need to join. Are you understand, everybody? Clear, all of you? So that is what. So count it number of carbons. Number of carbons are 4. And number of hydrogens, count them. Number of
8.
hydrogens, 8. Okay. So now this is call it as actually cyclic structure. So it is call it as a cyclo, and C equals to 3 means what is to call, guys? C
Propane.
means we used to call it as a propane. So what is the name of this one, everybody?
Cyclobutane.
Cyclopropane. This one C4H8. So what is to call? Cyclo, everyone. Yes. So it is called it as a cyclobutane. Please write it. Cyclobutane. Next, let me take N is equals to 5. So N is equals to 5 means what is the structure we can form? Mathematics. Everybody? Propane less cyclo. Yes? All of you. Pentane. Am I right or wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Any problem for anybody? You can ask me. So bond formation. So all are single bond only. So now you can satisfy every carbon is having 2 bonds are formed. So how many bonds are remaining? Anybody?
2 bonds.
Carbon, how many bonds? Each carbon has to satisfy how many bonds? Everybody.
2 bonds.
Carbon has to satisfy how many bonds? Girls, others,
2 bonds.
4 bonds. Totally it has to satisfy how many bonds? 4 bonds. 2 already satisfied, then 2 more. So which is equals to C5H10. So what is the name of this one? Cyclo
Pentane.
pentane. Okay. Now cyclopentane. Next, let us be, it will goes. So next C is equals to 6. Sorry, N is equals to 6. Up to here it is very important. So N is equals to 6 means what is that ring will form? Everybody. Yes, hexane will form. You understand, Mr. Harisaras? Vijay, that is what. So this is what. Now also you can tell each carbon is satisfying how many carbons? Each carbon, 2 bonds is satisfying. So remaining each carbon need 2 more bonds. 2 more bonds is needed. 2 more bonds need to satisfy. So that is why then only carbon will follow the number of bonds will be satisfied. So that is what. So now you can tell what is the common formula. Everybody? C6.
C6H12.
That is what. So now, what is the name of this one, everybody?
Cyclohexane.
Yes. Cyclohexane. So this is what is the formulas. Now, cyclic saturated compounds. Cyclic saturated compounds. What is the formulas we have written? Cyclic saturated compounds. Formulas tell me, everybody. Cyclic saturated compounds starts from where? Everybody. What is the first? N is equals to 3. 4, 5, 6. N is equals to 1 and 2. Is it existed or not existed? Everybody. It is
Not existed.
okay. Only it will start from n is equals to 3. So n is equals to 3. You can see formulas. C3H6, C4H8, C5H10, C6H12. So these are the formulas of something. Anybody can tell what is that? I want to know. Let me see. Who will see? Anybody? They are the formulas of something which is studied straight line. That is
Alkene.
yes, please.
Alkene.
Alkenes.
So that is what I wanted from you. So these are, if you notice it, everybody carefully. So what they are actually? Anybody can tell? They are
CnH2.
They are actually, if you notice it, general formula is CnH2n over. So CnH2n is the formula of what? Anybody?
Alkene.
Alkene.
Yes. CnH2n is the formula of alkenes. But now CnH2n is the formula of what? Cyclic alkenes. Understand? So that is the difference. Clear, everybody? Saturated cyclic hydrocarbons. It contains always a ring of minimum how many carbons? Everybody? Minimum how many carbons? That's what is my question. Everybody?
3.
Carbon.
3 carbons. So please remember that. Okay. So this saturated cyclic hydrocarbons also we can call it as alicyclic. Please write it. Alicyclic compounds are saturated hydrocarbons. So, and the properties, they possess the properties almost similar to those of, that is what, open chain or acyclic compounds. Remember, these are called it as a ring compounds. That is what, there is a ring is present. That is what they are called as a ring compounds, or we can say cyclic compounds. Or we can say closed chain compounds. But if you have taken before what we studied, these all are what? Alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. They are called it as basically acyclic, or we can say open chain, or we can say they are the aliphatic compounds. What is to call everybody? All of you? Aliphatic hydrocarbons. Now, these closed chain saturated hydrocarbons will show the properties of aliphatic hydrocarbons. That is what I'm saying. Do you understand, everybody? All of you? Please respond. Everyone? Now, sir, if you have taken stability is most important one. Am I right, everybody? Please speak, guys. Stability is most important compound. So, keep in mind, n is equals to 3, n is equals to 4, n is equals to 5 will exist, but not stable in nature. So that is why they are highly reactive. So they cannot be more reactive in nature. So they cannot exist stable. So generally remember, which is cyclic means generally only 6-membered cyclic hydrocarbons is what? 6-membered cyclic hydrocarbon. What is that called it as a cyclic hydrocarbon? Everybody, what is that called? 6-membered cyclic hydrocarbon or stable. Means what is that? All of you should speak. Means who is the first member? Who is the first member? First member of cycloalkanes. Make it quick, all of you. Who is the first member of cycloalkanes? Everybody? Yes?
CH4.
C3H6. But it is not stable. So what is the name of this one? Everybody? Cyclopropane.
Cyclopropane.
First member is cyclopropane. But from which compound they are stable in nature? Everybody? Which compound are
Cyclohexane.
stable in nature? From n is equals to what? Speak loudly, everybody. From n is equals to 6. So yeah, n is equals to 3, 4, 5. They are unstable in nature. That's why cyclic hydrocarbons basically will say they will start from n is equals to what? Anybody can tell? They'll start from n is equals to where, guys? N is equals to 6 only. Clear, everyone? So that is what you have to remember. Anybody having any doubt, please let me know. Are you understand, Amma? Girls, boys, everybody? Now, let me draw the electron dot structure. So electron dot structure of benzene will draw. Sorry, benzene not. Sorry, N is equals to 6. What is the name of this one? Cyclohexane. Cyclopentane, cyclobutane, cyclopropane, cyclopropane only. This all or will you all try? Everybody, please respond, guys. So suppose for this one, if they ask you, what is that electron dot structure? CCC. So now hydrogens, render hydrogen. For each one, two hydrogen. So first you draw condensed formula, then it is very simple. So hydrogen, how many electron? 2 electron only. Carbon, 2 electron. Carbon, 2 electron. Hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. Hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. Hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. Hydrogen, 2 hydrogen. That's all. So this is only call it as a what structure, everybody? Yes, please. I love you.
Electron dot.
What we used to call it as a electron dot structure. Please note it. Anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. Now, let me draw cyclohexane electron dot structure. Cyclohexane electron dot structure. What do you mean by cyclohexane? Everybody? What do you mean by cyclohexane? Everyone? All of you. Cyclohexane means, what is the carbon number?
Stable.
Body? N is equals to 6. So what is the general formula? CnH2n. So CnH2n means what? Cn is equals to 6. 2 into 6, which is equals to C6H12, which is call it as a what? Cyclohexane.